Welcome to Just Curious Media. This is Let's Talk Movies, and I'm Jason Connell. On the show today, I'm joined by special guest, Sal Rodriguez.
Hello, Jason. Thanks for having me back again.
Back again, Sal. Thank you for joining me. And the reason you're coming back so soon is because we're not wasting any time on Jaws franchise Volume 2.
No, because it seems like it's almost like Jaws is in the air.
Yeah.
Totally. I think to the average person walking down the street wouldn't know it, but you and I, we're out there in the world. We're like, there's like
Our
some sort of Jaws thing.
Up.
Yeah, there's some sort of Jaws thing happening.
Well, Sal, I have to ask you this: would you come back for Volume 3 in 3D?
I think so. Let me just find my glasses. And
we just need those little glasses. That would be great. Can we find them on eBay? Do you have any?
Well, no, but didn't one of the characters in Grease wear 3D glasses?
I think so.
Yeah, he would just wear them for the fun of it.
It's like you wear those and you wear bowling shoes.
I will do it. I'll do it, whatever it takes.
Okay. I love it. Well, the reason we're coming back is because since we last left Volume 1, more things are popping up. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this happening? Am I in Bizarro world? So like you just said, it's happening around us. Maybe we're just aware now. It's like the movie They Live. They put those glasses on and they see them. They were always there, these aliens, these strangers. But now that we're focused on it, we see them. But I wanted to come back. We're not revisiting, rehashing what we talked about. It may come up, but I have kind of a hit list of things. And I thought, why wait? Let's just do this. There is something going on right now. Maybe it's because it's summer, Sal. Summer and people are doing outdoor screenings and things because there's just a lot going on, and I'm telling you, I think we are due for some sort of reboot, some sort of prequel. Something's in the air. I hope studios are paying attention because I hope it leads to something like a new Jaws film.
No, I agree, but isn't everything sort of on standstill right now? Because
I don't mean right
strikes?
now. I just mean when things are resolved and we.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if something is in the air, there will be a delay, unfortunately, because of
but ideas
matters
could
at
be
hand.
percolating. Yeah,
that's true. In fact, I've thought about that. Like, what is happening? There is some things happening, but what? What is happening during these strikes? But there's something.
Sal, you're in Los Angeles. Go hit the streets and talk to some of the picketers.
Well, okay, so I'll tell you what. I just auditioned today for a SAG commercial. Okay. But isn't SAG on strike? And yet I auditioned for a SAG commercial, so I don't get it.
Yeah, me neither. Well, let's save that for another podcast.
Okay.
But here's where I want to start. And first off, let's just go down memory lane, those watching on YouTube, just to see the posters, to feel the energy, okay? Well, let's just start with the first poster. Boom. It just sets the mood, right? It sets the mood so much that I'm wearing like fish on shirt. My Patagonia, the classic fish, could be a shark, logo is on here. But this is the iconic poster.
Yeah,
so I just want to set the stage. I almost need like the John Williams score to kind of play underneath. But this is a bit of a sad start for us.
What?
Because we have a rest in peace right out of the gate. And I didn't even know this on Volume 1 because we recorded it in August. But Mark Gilpin, who played Sean Brody in Jaws 2, okay? We lost him July 29th, 2023 at 56 years old.
Wow.
So very sad. I didn't even realize it. I was looking something up the other night, and I was like, oh, my gosh, he was Sean Brody. He was in other movies, but really he had this TV run, which a lot of actors did in the 80s. He was on Chips and Fantasy Island and Silver Spoons. Wow. So shows that you and I watched, and he probably popped up on there we recognized him and just maybe didn't put it together at the time. But he was, Sean Brody. And that's amazing. He left us far too young. He had a family. And so that just popped on my radar. So I wanted to say rest in peace to Mark Gilpin. And so then I was like, didn't another young Brody pass away way too soon? And yes, it's true. In Jaws, Mike Brody was played by Chris Rebello, and he passed away November 30th, 2000. At 37 years old, also had a family. That was his only acting credit. So we've lost two Brodies, not to mention Roy Scheider. I know, I'm just talking about the kids. So I just thought that was very strange, and both are far too young to be passing away.
Yeah,
but
that is strange.
Yeah. And there's not some sort of poltergeist curse. I'm not saying
well,
that.
No, I know, but you're talking
sharing.
about two young actors at the time who played Brody kids, right? These are part of the Brody family?
Yes, in different movies.
Okay.
Movies.
Wow.
Because this is one of those franchises, kind of like, I'd say, Vacation, National Lampoon's Vacation, and European Vacation, Christmas Vacation, Vegas Vacation. And each movie, the kids are played by different actors.
Yes.
Same thing here.
Okay. But meanwhile, one was Sean Brody and one was Mike Brody?
No, but I mean the actors playing them were always interchanged, interchangeable.
I see. Got it.
But still, so we lost Mark recently and Chris years ago. That's not where I want to focus. I just wanted to give, that rest in peace. And we always like to do that on Let's Talk Movies.
Sure.
Now I'm going to pivot to something that just kind of blew my mind. Okay. And it's not necessarily just on Jaws, but just today I experienced this and I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to tell Sal. I tried to call you, but we're 3 hours apart and who knows what you're up to. You're probably waking up. So anyway, so there's something called, I'm going to ask you if you've heard of this before I get into it, audio description. Have you heard of that term in regards to movies?
No. I mean, offhand, it sounds like it would be kind of like director's commentary, but offhand, audio description, no. I don't know what that is.
So I love director's commentary or just movie commentary because it
Sure.
could be the producer, it could be the actors. I love commentaries. Like I'm the junkie that was like taking DVDs and extracting the ones with commentary and having my own little personal library. Love commentaries. Okay. That's well, well established. So
Yes.
This isn't that. This isn't closed captioning. This is audio description. Here's the definition. Audio description is an optional narration that describes what is happening on screen, including physical actions, facial expressions, costumes, settings, and scene changes. It is available for most Netflix, Apple original titles, and many other TV shows and movies. Now,
is this a new thing? I never heard of this
Well,
before.
it's been out for a few years, and it definitely, I think, initially, and obviously still caters to the blind or
Sure.
people that would visually impaired.
Yes.
However, beyond that, people that like to consume content and want to establish or experience it in a different way. And I'm a podcaster. We're podcasters. And I love audiobooks, right?
Yes.
Audibles, audiobooks. I'm talking to Carl Gottlieb now about the potential of turning the Jaws log into an audiobook. Don't take that idea, anybody. I've already talked to Carl. But we love it. It's another rich thing. So Sal, I go on. I have been building a digital library of movies. It's like 300-400 movies now. I've bought them all when they go on sale for $4.99 on Apple. And they're in Apple, they're in the cloud, but some of them come with commentary. Some of them come with special features. I really love the commentary. And so I was like, oh yes, some of them have audio descriptions, but not all. You got to go down, play the thing, look at, does it have that language option? AD is what they call it. And I was like, well, let me look at Jaws. Maybe Jaws has it. Well, Sal, Jaws has it. I'm going to do some poster swiping.
Yes.
Jaws 2 has it.
Wow.
Jaws 3 in 3D has it. And Jaws The Revenge has it.
Wow. Why am I just hearing about this now,
four.
Jason?
So I was blown away. Like, are you kidding me? So let me listen to it. Well, I am a third of the way into Jaws with the audio description. So where it's not like commentary, where commentary will play a little bit of the movie and then they'll just tell a story, and that story could go through 5 scenes, right? Sure. But you love it because you're getting this behind the scenes take. Well, this isn't that. This is someone doing stage direction around the dialogue, and it's really well crafted. And they'll set up a scene because if you can't see a video, you could actually just watch it and have an audio description on. But if you can't see it or you're unable to see, you could still experience it and not miss anything. Because if you just listened to Jaws on audio and had no TV and never seen it, you'd still be lost. You would not know what's going on,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or any movie for that matter. Unless you have just a good sense of the movie, like, oh, I know that beat. I mean, there's been times where I listened to the Risky Business movie and Wall Street. I was probably driving or doing something like, oh, I'll just put this on. I had the CD or the DVD, but I knew the movie. Yeah. But it's beautiful to hear these things. So I'm going to do an example. So for you Jaws lovers who've experienced any and everything Jaws, I recommend going to Netflix, if it's on there now, but I own them on Apple, and experiencing the audio description, version. You can just go to language and you choose. There's English and then there's the AD. So, Sal, if you're ready, I'm going to play like 1 minute clip so you can get a sense.
Yeah, I think it sounds really cool, and I'm looking forward to hearing it.
You got some popcorn?
I like this idea. I really do, because you and I talk about how we consume content. I tell you that I listen to podcasts or audiobooks if I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're driving, that's not a time for you to be looking at a screen. So if you can theoretically, you should not be looking at a screen. Driving while listening to an audio description.
I think, what bugs me is that not every movie on Apple, because that's where I'm focused right now, does not have an audio commentary. Because I know a lot of movies had them, and it's almost just sheer laziness. Or it's like, oh yeah, we put whatever, name a movie from the Hoosiers. Yes. Okay, Hoosiers is up there, but I bought it. You get whatever digital content comes with it, but they didn't put the commentary on there, knowing it exists. Like that makes me so mad. It's like, well, how do I get it attached? So I almost wish it was just required, and I think this should be required on every movie. And I read they're doing hundreds now. So this is more of a purpose than just an audio commentary, as much as I love them. This serves a real purpose. It's not just for insiders. This is for anybody who could experience the movie that maybe never can't see a movie or is now unable to see a movie. So I think it's a beautiful thing, and we're going to start seeing this option pop up more.
No, I think it's great. I really do.
Okay, bear with me. I'm going to cue this up. Okay, here we go.
A view looks through a shark jawbone mounted on a window at the Orca setting sail.
Stand by fire drill. Damage control. Port teleporter. Nor'easter coming. Bad notes for minutes now.
Brody stares off the back of the boat.
The Mrs. Chief. If they don't like you going out, they'll love you coming in.
Quint's fishing boat leaves the harbor, passing boats docked in front of houses on the water. Later, a trail of red tints the water behind the Orca as Brody tosses chum off the stern. Quint sits next to a fishing rod and Hooper monitors one of his electronic devices, a line leading from it into the water. Brody pours liquid onto a cloth and presses it to his mouth.
Keep that chum line going, Chief. We got 5 good miles on him.
Who's driving this boat?
Nobody. Tide. One time I caught a 16-footer off Montauk. Had to stick 2 barrels in him, 2 to wear him down and bring him up. Nowadays, these kids, they take out everything. Radar, sonar, electric toothbrushes.
Quint opens a beer can.
Jesus H. Christ. Hey, Chief, let's drop another chum marker.
As Brody walks past, Hooper watches Quint down the beer in one long gulp, crushing the can in his hand when he's finished. He gives the younger man a small smile, and Hooper downs the rest of his own drink, crumpling the styrofoam cup and dropping it. Brody pulls...
So there's a taste. Hang on.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's almost like turning a movie into an audiobook.
In a way, it's rich with the score, the John Williams score, this movie in particular. You have all the sound, so you're still experiencing this movie, this very submersive movie, and they've worked in these key things. So someone's writing a script, and well performed, the audio, and just follows you along. Like, you don't notice them, but then you count on them. You rely on them. You could just close your eyes and experience that. So I was blown away. Like I said, I'm like a third of the way through the original, and it's a whole new experience for me. And I'm going to do the next 3 movies. The Jaws Revenge should be hilarious, but fun nonetheless. And any other points? Because I have a nice little segue here, but please, I don't want to steal all your thunder in case you have more comments on this.
No, I was just thinking, Jason, when I was listening to that, I like the concept, but I was thinking, is that an AI voice?
No,
I'm thinking
real
that
voice.
was
Sounds like a real voice. Real person.
How do you know that was a real voice?
Okay, I guess I don't know, Sal, but I
Yeah,
don't think
I'm-
AI's there just yet.
I fear that that could be an AI voice, and they'll just have, plug the action into a computer, and then AI is delivering the narration.
Sal, that was me with a filter.
You sounded good.
Quint drinks a beer. It was really cool. Yeah, there's not a lot of emotion. I think you could ham it up, but I think the point is just to kind of get in and get out, and
Yes.
everything else is happening around them. I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm super excited. Tons of movie offer this on various platforms, Amazon as well. So Amazon, Netflix, Apple, maybe others. So there's that. And maybe you're just wanting to revisit, like you said before we got going, that you'd like to watch an episode of Love Boat again to see who was actually on Love Boat. Well, it'd be hilarious just to listen to it. If you don't have time to sit down and watch it, just put it on, and they would give you like Mark Harmon enters the screen, and then or Michael J. Fox is here. So because if you wouldn't know who the actor is, I guess you'd know by voice.
Yes.
But anyway, the cool segue here. I also love that what I don't think I ever realized, or it's been a while, when Brody was doing the chumming, right? The smell was so bad that he put Old Spice on that rag and was sniffing Old Spice. Remember the slogan or the music or the jingle for Old Spice?
What was the Old Spice jingle?
Wasn't like...
Oh,
It
yes.
was like
a
it was
whistle.
like a sailor, yeah.
Yes, yes.
And the logo is like a ship. But I was like, that is
Yes.
so cool. He's over there just like pouring
funny.
that freely on a rag just to have any other smell. He needs like coffee beans or something.
No, that is funny though, because Old Spice does have the old time ship on it. It has that sea, that ocean theme about it. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's true.
Well, that was a nice, I guess, thing to have a endorsement in the movie. Well, here's another one.
Yeah.
And I never, ever, ever thought about it. I did mention it on Volume 1.
Yeah.
But Quint is drinking a Narragansett beer. I mean, it's Narragansett beer. It's what it says. He crushes the can, and I was somewhere, a few weeks ago, maybe this month, it was July or August, and some kid in front of me had a shirt on the back. I think it was at Jazz Fest, and it was this logo, but it was like Crush It Like Quint, and it was an advertisement for Narragansett beer. Okay? Well, Narragansett beer, I live near Narragansett, Rhode Island. Okay? And that's where the Point Judith Lighthouse is, which Johnny talks about in Cobra Kai. And I've had their beer. Their brewery's in Providence, which is a bigger city. Here's a little tag for them. Narragansett beer, a New England tradition for over 100 years. Crush it like Quint. So I didn't know when I saw the movie growing up that was a beer that you're supposed to know. It was a New England beer. Well, check this out. The other day, I was walking to the grocery store because I'm really close to a grocery store. I was like, I'll just walk over. Look at this. In the window of a liquor store, the advertisement, you see the shark there?
Yes.
There's Bruce, Narragansett cases, right? On the Narragansett cases is the shark from Jaws. And here's another angle. They do a whole thing, a standee in the front of the, they do a window display. Look at this.
Right now, we're talking about this is happening
Right now. This is up the street.
Yes.
There's Bruce. So describe what you're seeing, Sal, for the listeners.
Well, it's
do
hard to
your movie description, audio description of this.
let me blow you up again, but it looks like a shark coming out of the water, right?
Yep.
Similar to all the images that we've seen, but especially the image of Bruce coming out of the water at the Universal Studios attraction.
Yes,
that's what
exactly.
that mainly reminds me of. Isn't that what it is? You're on some sort of, the viewer is on some sort of bridge? or on a boat itself,
Right, yeah.
and then the sharks
Lots of
coming up out the
cases
water.
of Narragansett beer there. So you got to crush it like Quint. Now, Quint was eaten in Jaws. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
So there's that. And yeah, there you go. It is crazy. It is so timely. The movie came out a long time ago, Sal.
Oh, yeah.
And these are new displays happening around town. Now, I've not lived in New England for a long time, so maybe it's just really big here, but I'd say it's big everywhere. I mean, 75 till now, 1975, I don't think it's losing any traction, Sal. That's what a great movie does with these types of tie-ins. So I am now going to start having Narragansett beer on every episode. No, but that was really cool. So I thought that was awesome.
Well, Jason, not
Please.
only in merchandising, but of course on the big screen where it all started.
Yes.
Recently, since you got me some of this Jaws fever happening, I started looking at some screenings. I was like, I want to see Jaws on the big screen now. And unfortunately, I missed a lot of screenings that did take place in Los Angeles. One of them at the beloved Los Feliz 3. So that was there. A few other places. We had screenings. The other day, I texted you, Jason, remember, because I was in Hobby Lobby.
Yep.
And I'm looking at some of the
Hold that.
collectible area.
Hold that. I'm going to
Yes?
save that. That's coming up shortly.
Rah.
Yeah, save it. I love it. I want to hear that story in the segment. But, Sal, we are coming up fast on the 50th anniversary of Jaws.
Yeah, because we're 48 now, right?
Yeah. And
48
you
now,
wait
okay.
until that happens. Like,
Yeah.
the stuff we're seeing will be amplified, multiplied. It'll be everywhere because it's a chance to cash in. 50 is huge. 50 and 100, Sal. 75 maybe, but 50 is like 25, 50, 70. There's 25 increments are the biggies, right? And this is one.
Golden anniversary.
And you have people still alive. Spielberg, Gottlieb, they were very young at the time. So you can really just go nuts with it. John Williams, guy, he's getting older, but he's still with us. So now we're going from Crush It Like Quint, segueing into something we did touch on in Volume 1, but we've learned more, we have more data, and that is, let me get another image here. What does that say, Sal?
Oh, yeah. The shark is broken.
The Shark is Broken. Now, not a musical. I tried to call it a musical. It is a Broadway play. It was
No,
in
you know
London.
why? Jason,
Yep.
you know why we thought it was a musical? Because we recently talked about The Karate Kid.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Karate Kid was going to be a musical, I think.
And Back to the Future is now opening, and so a lot of music in that. I don't know if it's a musical or not, but so I inadvertently just said musical, but it's a play, and there's drama, there's comedy, but we thought it was great. It's in New York. I plan to go.
Oh, yeah.
But what we didn't know the last time we talked about this, oh, and also let me just show you. I talked about this last time. This was the advertisement in my mailbox
Yes.
that showed up when I was having Carl Gottlieb, the writer of Jaws, on later that night. This was in my mailbox along with his book, not the Jaws log, but the little blue book for filmmakers. And so I was just like, this is out of body. But this is the first time I ever heard of it. And I didn't read too much into it because Sal was like, I've already got enough stuff to talk about. We barely talked about it. He's seen it, loved it, saw it in London.
That's a nice
So
ad. That's like a collectible brochure they're sending you practically.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's like they're sending you a collectible, literally.
In fact, The Shark is Still Working, guys, gave me something really collectible from the movie. And, I've moved so many times since then. It's somewhere. That's the documentary, of course, about Jaws. But I want to see this more than ever, but what we didn't know, Sal, was it was created by or co-created by, and he stars in it. He is the son of one Robert Shaw Quint. Like,
so cool.
What? I did not even know that until we broke from Volume 1. And I was like, let me find out about this because I want to go to Broadway. Boom. And here's another image, really cool image of the cast from The Shark is Broken. No. Yeah, The Shark is Broken. But Sal, I pulled this from the website, which is thesharkisbroken.com, and it is a letter from the author being the son of Robert Shaw. And, it's a couple paragraphs, but why don't you do the honors? It's best said in his words, so here we go.
In 2017, I read a drinking diary my father kept, which I found painful and very brave. I had a mustache for another role I was playing. Suddenly I realized I looked like Quint. We were the same age, so I sketched out some ideas for a play. I shoved it in a drawer, thinking it was too crazy to actually do. Many years ago, I read about the extraordinary difficulties they had making Jaws, and it occurred to me that there was an interesting story behind the scenes of one of cinema's most legendary movies. I mentioned it to two of my friends, David Mounfield and Duncan Henderson, who thought the idea was good enough for them to co-produce at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. Then I spoke to a writer friend, Joseph Nixon, who also thought it had legs and could be something a lot of people would find interesting. I always loved the film. It feels burned into my DNA. And who doesn't like a peek into a private world? So we wrote it together. Thank you to my wife Rachel and my family for all their support and love during that difficult process. The play is dedicated to the wonderful David Mounfield and Joseph's father, Michael Nixon, both of whom sadly died in 2020. It is a farewell to them, and of course, my amazing father. Thank you to them for all the love and laughter they gave us. Ian Shaw, 2023.
Wow.
That is so cool. Very
amazing.
Cool. Wow.
Sal, you might have to come to Broadway and join me for
this sounds really cool to see. And it's a 3-person play, right? 3 people on stage.
Yeah. So not reenacting the movie. It's very meta. They're on the boat talking about making the movie. Now, I wonder if Ian was referring to the Jaws log.
Okay, so he's on the boat. He's not on the... So Ian Shaw is not playing his father. No, I'm sorry. He's not playing Quint. He's playing
his father.
Got it.
Playing Quint.
Got it.
Talking about all the crazy things. And there's no Spielberg. It's for the 3 cast.
Yes.
Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss, and Robert Shaw. So incredible. I'm dying to see this more than ever now. Like a meta play about the making of Jaws. Like, I'll be floored by this thing.
Yes.
And it's doing very well, not just because people are going to see it, because word of mouth. Like, people are loving it.
Yeah. And by the way, do you have tickets? Is it available? Can you buy tickets now?
It's available, and they're not that expensive. So I'm telling you, it's a few more months is what I saw. I am going, and I want to just have so much fun. And again, it's feeding the beast, feeding this machine.
Sure.
More merch is coming out. A lot is happening. We'll get into the merch and get into some other things.
Now, wait a second, Jason. You got me thinking now.
Now
that I'm experiencing Jaws fever, and just when I thought it was safe to podcast again, so conceivably Gottlieb and Spielberg are still to this day making money from Jaws.
Well, I don't know if Gottlieb is. I mean, I don't know if Gottlieb is. He could be. Spielberg for sure.
Yeah.
Universal for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, anybody else who had points. I mean, Spielberg was young. I don't know what he had, but I mean,
we don't know what deal he had.
Yeah, he probably didn't have the best deal ever, but Universal is just making money. I mean, we've lost so many of the producers, so many of the people, but
sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, I mean, if I go buy a collectible today, Universal makes money, sure, but I would be, by the way, very happy if Spielberg and Gottlieb, especially Gottlieb,
sure,
made anything. I would be. But yeah, you're right. When it comes to merchandising, it's a whole nother thing. Licensing, it becomes, because you have likenesses. I mean, here we are talking about Ian Shaw. Meanwhile, his father, Robert, was just made into an action figure by NECA. Does Ian see any of that money? Or did he have to sign off on any of the likeness rights, I wonder? I'm curious about that. Just curious.
I've made a Sal podcasting figure. But I own all the likeness. So
I know. I signed off.
This is great. You can get interchangeable heads, interchangeable hands. It's the best.
Different background dioramas.
With you, you have tiny little figures behind you, which is great. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But I know that I love it, and I want to see more of it come. And I think we are due for something. Either a film, it seems like a film. You could also make a great series. There could just be something that look at Cobra Kai. Look what it did for the Karate Kid. The movies petered out. much like Jaws, right? Hang on. Let me go back. First
There it
one,
is.
second
Yep.
one's.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh, my gosh. If I had the Karate Kid posters up here, same thing.
Yeah.
First one, masterpiece. Second one, pretty good. Some say, you
Yep.
in particular, love it more than maybe the original. I don't know how that's possible. But the third one, jumps the shark, pun intended.
Oh.
The fourth one, I don't even understand it, and I don't understand this one. The next Karate Kid and the Jaws Revenge, they should meet in some sort of showdown. But what happens? Cobra Kai happens. It brings this franchise back to the forefront. And here it is. Now you have a lot of kids and people and moving parts. So it's not going to be apples to apples. But I just think something else great would be like, oh, yeah, Jaws still is a masterpiece. And it gets, even more publicity. And this new thing is kind of like the new wave. I don't know, man. I'm just telling you, someone's going to take a shot. Someone good who's capable.
Right now they're starting to do the Halloween Haunt at Universal, 2 miles down the street. And one thing that they do keep open, like for the most part, they shut down all the rides during the Halloween event in the evening during the Halloween season. But they keep the tour, the tram open.
Right.
And then at some point, I remember at one point they, I think, wrote it backwards or something. Anyway, during the tram ride, they still have the Jaws attraction going. So theoretically, during the Halloween season, you still get to experience the Jaws shark on the tram at the Universal Halloween event.
I love it. I mean, that one's fun. It's always been there. When I was a kid, I could not wait to experience it. And even as an adult, when I moved to L.A. and we used B-roll in Strictly Background at Universal, just doing little things in the intro. But it meant a lot to me to see it. However, I don't know much about rides, but it seems like, and I went back to Universal years later and saw like the new King Kong, the Peter Jackson ones. Like, wow, they've really taken it to the next level.
Oh, they went
the
digital with
Transformers
King Kong,
ride.
yeah.
But it was amazing. Like, they're probably due for an amazing Jaws experience. Upping the classic. Keep the classic, but have one where you're actually terrified. Like, an experience where you're close to the water and that primal fear is just ramped up. I'm telling you, man.
No,
it's
you know what
not
they're
going
to do,
away.
Jason? Then, if they do something like that, it's going to be a digital experience. It's going to be some sort of screen, some sort of immersive screen,
and it's coming.
Yeah. They could do that. They could. Of course, I like the old-fashioned mechanical shark.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well,
So,
you could do
but
both.
We'll see. But yeah, they could
both.
do a mega Jaws experience. They could. Yeah.
So I'm ready to segue to the next area on my hit list. 2 more sections, and you're definitely in a section. But it's the Jaws screenings.
Oh yeah.
I talked about one on the volume 1, which is still coming up and hasn't happened yet. But here's a little poster. I took this photo back in July, but July, August, this Jaws, there's the original poster. I was at the All South County Luxury Cinemas in Wakefield, Rhode Island. And you can see, it's really small, but there's lots of screenings. They were throughout July and August. On the big screen, they were doing a bunch of Jaws screenings. Super cool. Like, amazing, right? I hear an airplane, so let's hold.
Airplane, Burbank Airport.
Pretty bad. Okay. It says the original blockbuster. It's true. And all screenings of this, $10, of this incredible masterpiece.
Wow.
And they all start at 9 o'clock at night. So they want you to kind of get there at night. Now, let me go to this next thing. This is the one around the corner from here, Jane Pickens Theater. August 31st, still coming. They're having a band. It's a party. Narragansett Beer will be there, crushing it like Quint. So this is just like happening all the time, July, August. And then Sophia was in Wakefield last weekend with a friend, sent me a photo. And I'm like, is that Mrs. Brody? What's going on here? Outdoor screening of Jaws in downtown Wakefield last Saturday night, August 26th. So I said, well, give me some more photos when you walk back by after dinner. She got a little bit closer. Dreyfuss, Hooper. There's Roy Scheider, Brody. And there's Brody again with the life preserver on. So, yeah, they're all enjoying
So this wasn't
Jaws
on the water.
outside.
This screening
No,
wasn't
wasn't on the.
anywhere near
Well, there's a
water.
little pond there, but it's not on the ocean. No, it's a little bit. No, but I think that's amazing. And save that. So I was blown away by that, and it's happening. So you were talking about. It's not just a New England thing. Los Angeles, there's all these screenings happening. Were any at the drive-ins, or were any at ArcLight's gone now? Anywhere else memorable?
There's only a handful of drive-ins left in the country, let alone in California. It's my understanding there's only 3 or 4 drive-ins left in the state of California that are actually functioning today. None of them too close to Los Angeles. I think you got to go into Riverside County, I think, to go see anything at the drive-in. But I did see some recent screenings. Mm-hmm. One was on Vine Street at a theater at the Montalban. Theater.
The Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah, the Ricardo Montalban Theater had a screening.
We filmed in there. We filmed there for Strictly Background. There was a Pirates of the Caribbean casting call
at the Montalban.
It was at the Ricardo Montalban.
Very cool. Yeah, so they had recently a screening of Jaws, and then at the Los Feliz 3, near and dear to our hearts.
Yes,
there was a screening, and then I know that periodically over the years they have some sort of screening on the water, like at the marina. They'll have some.
Oh, there you go.
In fact, I think they even had something where you go on these little rafts and you're actually on the water.
I've seen that. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't know if I'd do that, but I would stand on the shore and be like waving probably.
Hey,
I hope you guys are having fun.
I went to an amusement park one time and they were doing Jaws, but in front of this big body of water. It was a huge pool. And I was just too young to focus, but I thought it was kind of neat. Like you could just bob, but it wasn't the ocean. It was just a pool. But
well, that adds to the fear factor. It really does.
Oh, fear factor for sure.
I don't know if I would do that. I mean, would I do that? Recently with all the Halloween happening, things that are happening, I'm having to confront face-to-face, head-on some of my claustrophobia. So I don't have like a fear of the water. I don't have a fear of the sharks necessarily. So could I be on a raft watching Jaws at night? I don't know. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, that's what's going on. It's still there. There's probably going to be screens in September and October. I don't know. The shark keeps working.
I got to see that.
And so now, that's The Shark is Broken. I just meant in
general.
Yeah,
The Shark is Still Working was the documentary.
No, that was right. Yeah, exactly. All right, so you have sent me some things recently, new toys and merchandise and collectibles, all the time. You get some of them, others you're just like, oh yeah, this is a Target or this. I'm like, what? These new things. So you're constantly doing this for me, which is great. And then you sent me this the other day and I was like, yet another tie-in, and here we go. Sal, please describe what I'm looking at here.
Oh, yeah. So Hobby Lobby has like a collectibles section. It's almost like a man cave section, it seems.
Okay.
Where they got like stuff to give dad, like gifts to give dad and stuff. So they have like a marine ocean section that has like octopus and other fish to put on your wall. And then right down there in that section was a few shark things. Now, I'm very particular about what I send you because I don't just want it to be shark necessarily. I want it
Jaws.
I want it to be a Jaws shark. So they had a shark toilet paper dispenser. I did not send you the picture of that, even though it was cute. But next to that was this giant wooden, that thing's made of wood,
a
giant wooden wall display. And it looks like Jaws coming upward at the swimmer, just like in the original movie poster. And
no
those
swimmer,
teeth,
though.
No swimmer. It's made of wood, and those teeth are actually pointy and kind of sharp.
You went right for it. You just had
I
to
did.
touch
I said, let me feel these teeth. And yeah, it was probably about 2 feet high, about a foot wide, wall display of a shark swimming upward, and those teeth look out.
That's amazing. Yeah, they probably need a sign: "Don't touch the teeth. Don't touch these sharp teeth." Well, that was cool, but you didn't stop there, Sal. You kept going.
What else was there?
I don't know what's going on here. A mermaid being attacked by
Bruce.
No.
That was
I know.
On my birthday, I took my Bruce.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Figure. Thank you. On August 17th, I was taken to a restaurant in Ventura, and then the restaurant is on the marina and has an ocean theme. So I took Bruce figurine by Funko Super 7,
Yep.
and had him like floating around the area looking at mermaids and looking at other art on the wall.
I love it.
Yeah, so in that picture, the shark on the left is actually live action.
Oh, I
and then
figured.
the mermaid is painted onto some sort of wall.
By the way, for those listening, we are 2 Leos. July 31st, August, what was it, 17th?
Yeah.
Yeah, so look at us, man. So here's the next one from Sal Rodriguez's special collection.
Oh.
What's Bruce doing here?
Oh, yeah, so Bruce there is eating some of my birthday cake.
He's
eating some of it. You know, one thing I decided to do a few years ago is if I'm inspired to do so, I'll go ahead and take some sort of action figure with me somewhere. Like I took pictures of Miyagi and Daniel action figures doing some katas on the beach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if I'm so inclined, I'm going to do it. And on my birthday, you and I happened to be recently talking about Jaws, so I took my Bruce action figure with me to Ventura Marina.
That is so cool. And then one more. This is a video. Bruce on the move.
Yeah. He's scoping out the buffet. They got a seafood buffet over there, a place called Brophy's in Ventura. Yeah, he's scoping it out. He's dun 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 dun. Yeah, he's scoping it out.
And then there's Sal Rodriguez being attacked by Bruce.
He is. I was kind of obsessed with my Bruce figurine for a few days, taking it with me
tell.
everywhere I went, taking a lot of pictures. Yeah, and I need to make it to the beach because I also, in addition to that small one, I actually do have a giant inflatable shark. It's a huge inflatable shark, and I mean to take it to the beach before summer ends.
Well, I love this, and it was just you getting your figures, getting inspired, but you're one of millions of people that are touched by this movie. And you can still get these figures and you can play with them. I mean, when we had Carl Gottlieb, which we talked about on the last episode, Volume 1, out and honored him. When we had Carl Gottlieb come out and honor him with a Lifetime Achievement Award, which was amazing in its own right. But then to play Jaws in 35 millimeter, next level, having Carl there to talk before and after the movie, but then having him do his handprints in front of the Vista Theater. And he brought out his own Jaws or shark figure. Nice. And I thought, what is he doing? And he put him in the cement. He didn't leave him there, but he has an imprint, and it's there to this day. In fact, Sal, I think we should do an on-location episode for Let's Talk Movies with you at the Vista, getting visual representation of all the handprints that we did during the festival.
Yeah,
which were all great movies. I mean, it's amazing. So they're still there. Quentin Tarantino has not removed those as far as I know because he also loves these, classic filmmakers from yesteryear. But anyway, just an idea.
No, that sounds cool. And I need to pay a visit. I haven't been there in a while.
There you go. They play Jaws, I hear.
I think so. I need to check it out. I'm sure. I hope they have a few more screenings before summer's officially over. But then again, we're approaching Labor Day, so I may have missed the boat.
Hello.
So next year, I'm going to need a bigger boat.
Okay, so I have to mention this as well because this is something that's coming up for me. I have to do this very soon. But the Living Sharks Museum. I want to give a shout out. I just found out about this a month or so ago. The curator, Keith Cowley, was telling me all about it when we did the episode for Into the Mystic with Carl Gottlieb actually on. They were a sponsor. So go to livingsharks.org, learn more. But he is like a collector, all this shark memorabilia. Also, he's a Jaws collector. And I really want to go see this. It's in Westerly, Rhode Island, so it's only 30 minutes away.
Wow.
I want to meet him. He knows a ton about sharks, a ton about Jaws. He's interviewed Carl Gottlieb during the pandemic for something else. So I think it'll just be great for us to get in a room and just have a chat. And I'd love to have him on an episode, just dedicated to the Living Sharks Museum and learn. I love museums. I go to them all the time, but here's one that caters to sharks and curated by a Jaws collector. So could have some cool stuff there. Maybe stuff from the movie, Sal. Or movies. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm starting to geek out. Wow, this is really exciting. He also works at the Mystic Aquarium, which is a beautiful aquarium in Mystic, which is just a town over, also a seaside town. So really exciting. I think New England really has a stronghold on Jaws and sharks because it's boating and it's fishermen and sailors and the history and the Narragansett beer. And they shot in Martha's Vineyard, which is in Massachusetts. So, which, by the way, I'm planning a trip very soon, maybe September. We'll see how things play out and do the Jaws tour. Could be its own volume.
Wow.
So a lot happening here. I don't know what happened, Sal, but I've got a fever, and it's Jaws fever.
Yeah, you have Jaws fever. I think I'm getting it too, and I'm here
I
on the
think you
West
have
Coast.
it.
So if I got it on the West Coast, surely you got it on the East Coast. And hopefully I can catch one of these screenings before it's too late. Hopefully, but I'm not too optimistic at this point because I'm realizing some of these screenings happened in June and July, so it's probably a little late now.
And
Yeah,
we can
that is
always go to New York and see The Shark is Broken.
I'm going to be hopeful that maybe it's going to make it to the Pantages in Los Angeles.
Well, that could probably happen, buddy.
Yeah, hopefully.
Let me just do this for the camera here. Look at this. Is Ian Shaw, or maybe it's Robert Shaw. I'm just looking at it's a beautiful brochure.
Yeah, it's
And,
very nice. It's almost
you
like
know,
you were
you're prob-
targeted.
I think I was. You're right about that. I really think it will be at Pantages, and I would love to see it in New York and in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Hello.
That'll be cool.
Get Ian on the show on Let's Talk Movies on another volume. We're gonna have a lot of volumes we're gonna have a lot of volumes about Jaws, I'm afraid, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
As many teeth as a shark has will be volumes with
Volumes
Just Curious
and
Media
volumes
talking
and
about
volumes
Jaws.
and volumes. So, anything else, Sal, before we wrap up Volume 2 of the Jaws franchise?
You know, as crazy as this sounds, Jason, as counterintuitive as this may sound, I want to visit the beach now. I want to go to the beach. I really do. This makes me want to get out there.
Well, Sal, the beach is not the ocean. So are you going to get in the ocean?
Well, what have we learned recently? Even you get up to your knees, you may be in danger.
Yeah, so you're just going to go to the beach and sit there.
I'll be on the sand playing with my shark. Everybody else in the water.
Yeah, that's some hat, Harry. Yeah, you're just going to sit there like Brody and just scanning. Well, that's all I got, Sal. So without further ado, please enjoy
Jaws.
So thank you so much for listening. And please be sure to subscribe to the Let's Talk Movies podcast and the Let's Talk Movies YouTube live channel. You can also really help us by giving the show a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast.
And for all you listeners that enjoy sharing your thoughts, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, send us a direct message, or post a comment on any Let's Talk Movies social media platform.
We also highly recommend checking out our other podcast and visiting justcuriousmedia.com.